Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We are back from Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a wonderful time with family and friends. But today, more importantly than anything else, I have a very special guest with me on the show. I have Linda Mason, the owner of, what was it again? Books by L. Mason, a safe place.
Yes.
And I remember looking at it and I said, wow. At first, I thought it was a bookstore. And I was like, what amazing to have a bookstore where it clarifies it's a safe place. And then Debbie ran in my office. You met Debbie earlier. And she said, no, she writes books. And I said, wait a minute, I got to go to this website. So I went to your
You've
website.
actually seen it,
I
right?
did.
Okay.
I went to your website and I looked it up. And it really is amazing. But I would love for you to tell everybody else what it is that you do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Linda Mason, the owner of this business and this website, booksbylmason.com. So please visit. There's an array of things that I do. Mostly, I'm an author. I have been writing for about 20 years, published author for about 12 or 13 years. I have over 100 publications now, and I do more than just author books. I am 72 years young right now, and just finished publishing another book about 4 weeks ago. So I think I'm finished writing, and then I find out that I'm not. So I end up putting another one in writing. I have published mostly children's books. I have a background in early childhood education and insurance, believe it or not. So, and I have a passion for children. So most of my writings have been geared toward the younger groups. I have published books from toddler to young adults so far. And even I have a spiritual background. So some of my teachings deal with studies and resource books for understanding some parts of the Bible a little bit more. But because I am a Christian, most of my writings are based with the care of just trying to help children and young adults to find their way through the difficult tasks that they are coming, just being bombarded with in this world as they grow up. You find that children go through a lot more than you think, and they just are not sure how to handle the things that they go through. So one of my first writings was a collection of multicultural children books from A through Z that dealt with challenges children may have. From the titles of those books, you can kind of tell what topic we're going in. For example, A, Anxious Arlene. We go to Doubtful Denise, or even ex-con Xavier, Ungrateful Ursula, Pudgy Pete. So you kind of know what we're getting into from just looking at the titles. But my books are more than just a story. I think they're very unique because they have a secret coded message within the storyline that I highlighted in red letters. If you go to my website, you will be able to actually view pages of those books so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. In the back of those A through Z story books are also brain games, finger puppets, all kinds of puzzles and things like that. There are two sets of them. There's one that's the regular book with all of those things in it, and then there's a set for libraries, which is a second edition of the same book. The set for the libraries don't have the games in the back because I can't encourage writing in a library book. So, but the secret coded message is still in that book, but you'll see two A's and two B's and two C's. One of them is the second edition. I also am biracial. So I've have a collection called Piper that's dedicated to the 9 gifts of the Spirit, but it also takes you to different countries, different cultures. 2 books that deal with Americans, one from the Caucasian perspective and one from the Black perspective, because I am both. Caucasians go through things. Black people go through something a little bit different. So more than likely, you would like to get, so you get two books within that series that deals with America, things that are happening in America. But you go to Japan, you visit a lot of Germany, you visit a lot of other places, and it's deals with it's called Spirit in the Mirror. It's a visitation that a child will get. This little girl named Piper. She's in all the books. Every book has a different um, theme. You've got joy, patience, peace, long suffering, and all of that in different books. And an angel comes to visit this child when she wakes up in the morning. She is not the only child in the house, but she is the youngest child in the house. And she is awakened by this angel, and she goes on this journey with this angel, and she's back from her journey before anyone else in the house wakes up. And she has to implement what she's learned on this journey with her family within the house. So as the books go from 1 through to 9, they get thicker and thicker and thicker because you have not only the experience where she goes travels to these other countries, she's introduced to the culture, the foods, a lot of the community, uh, the customs, but mostly, for example, if you're talking about patience, she's going to be going through a situation that's going to require her to use patience. And so when she comes back and wakes up from that dream, she's got to exercise what she's learned with her siblings and with her parents. So, and she's got to decide whether she's going to tell her parents she's going on these dreams and this and that and the other. But she is going to also get to the point where she goes into the community to exercise the things that she's learning about giving and sharing and things like that. So that's the Piper series. We get into some adult, young adult situations. Probably your teens are going through more than you know, more than they are telling you. And we touch on some things that are very sensitive in the teen novels. Um, I didn't know I could write teen novels because I had gotten used. I had been writing for maybe 6 or 7 years only children 12 and under, books for children 12 and under, and then I was inspired to go a little deeper, and I ended up writing 5 novels for young adults, and then I combined those 5 novels into 2 novels in paperback, hardback, and recently I have put them on audio. So you can also find those on audio by Linda Mason. And they're real interesting. The last one should be out by Christmas. The first one is This Purpose in the Journey and the Destination by Linda Mason. Check it out. It's 7 hours long, so you're going to have to listen to it over a period of time. But that one goes right into even deeper challenges with teens between the parents and oh my goodness, it's a lot of things going on in the second as well, which is called Tenacity. It should be ready by Christmas this year. So check those out. You may be surprised at some of the things that that is happening in there. I found that in writing those novels, I did not know the whole story from the beginning. And I have exercised spiritual gifts. You may not be aware of them, but I have exercised them in real life. But when I was writing these books, I was experiencing some of those same things. You may not be aware of what's called a prophetic dream or prophetic vision. I had been given some of those in real life, in real circumstances, but I had never thought that would happen to me writing a fictitious book. So, in some of the situations within these suspense novels, I was getting visions while I was awake. And they were the same as the ones that I had gotten for real life, but this was for a fictitious book. And so that kind of um, it kind of shut things down for me because I wasn't sure whether I was being an unhealthy example for Christ. And so I just had to stop and wait because it was kind of getting a little bit scary for me. I don't play with Christ's gifts, and it's not a game to me. And so when I started getting these visions, vivid visions, and writing them in this fictitious book, I questioned the Lord and I questioned myself. And so I had to stop for a while until I got the okay. It was all right to continue, that this work was coming from Him, not really from me. I know you may not understand that, what that means, but I had to get a confirmation that it was okay and I was not being a bad example for my Christ because He's no joke. And what He does in me and through people is is life and is living and is real, and I don't play games with it. So check it out and see what you can things topics that I thought I would never try to touch, topics that I had to pull out a lot of information and do some study on because I don't know it all, and I was being led to touch on some topics uh, that I had not even been taught in church, some things that was just different. And I came out from writing this book differently. I came out as a new person, new mindset. All kinds of things happened when I was writing those books. So check them out and see what you can find that can help you in your life because it's not really about me. It's about what you can get out of this and how can it help you. So that's what I'm all about with the books. Another area of what I do, where you will see on that website, uh, I'm a, I am a publishing assistant. The first set, A through Z, that I was telling you about, that was done. Those were done, most of them, by a regular publisher. After that, I learned how to publish them myself because it was so expensive. So I help you publish your book, publish your dream. And you can go to my website and find out uh, how I do that. I give you a couple of different options, but I guarantee you that you will not have to mortgage your house in order to get your works out. So um, please go there and see what's going on with that. I also offer my books as a fundraiser for you to raise money for different people, different clubs, school functions, different football team, whatever. Even a neighbor that you may know that need help in the neighborhood. If you get enough people together, you can use my books as fundraiser to help that neighbor or with their cause. So all of that is located on my website, and I absolutely love uh, helping others. So I kind of look at who needs help and how can my books help them out, and that's what I am all about. Thank you so much for listening.
Well,
Don't
you
forget,
have
yeah.
some with you. You have some
Oh,
of your
I
books.
do.
Yeah, show them up so people can see them. Let me see. Perfect. Let me see that one.
Okay, this one is Anxious
Anxious Arlene.
Arlene.
Ah, I love
Yeah,
that.
some of the books are like fun issues that are going on. That's a funny one.
I love
And
this. Let me even
the
see
the
little.
red characters, or those are some of the things in the back.
Yeah,
Like I told you, during
those
the story,
activities.
the regular, you might see the red lettering during
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah.
If you can see the red letterings, those are the
Like the
secret coded
two. Yeah.
messages. And as you get
Ah,
to those letters, you write them down in a spot in the back of the book. And
that.
when you finish, it will be a certain message for that type of child. You have here Lonely Lucilia. This
Oh.
is a book. This is same type of thing going on inside, except it's an older. The first one you looked at, they're color coded too. The green um, is for the younger 5 or 6 year old. This one is for the a little bit older group. maybe 8 or 9 years old, but
Oh.
depending on the subject that's going on. This is two people that lived in another country, England actually, and the girl was being raised by her father, and her friend was being raised by a grandmother. Well, the girl's father had got a job in the United States, and so he was going to be relocating. So the girl was going to end up leaving her friend, and so that was about Lonely Lucilia. That was all about them leaving each other and figuring out how to still survive. You have some like this, Ungrateful Ursula. As you can see, it is a red book. This is not a book that you would read to your child, even if your child is 11 or 12, at bedtime. you know,
Uh,
so and so it's you have to look at the situation. This book actually deals with a person that used cutting as a method of coping. So you will find all kinds of things going on in some of my books. The ones I don't have Pudgy Pete with me, but that's an actual overweight little boy that liked to dance. And I have some background in praise dancing, and I was not skinny when that happened. So I did write, but we did have a hard time recruiting boys as well, and they get teased. But some of them have awesome gifts in tap and all kinds of dance, not just modern dancing. And so I wrote a book about Pudgy Pete and some of the things he went with. We'll have some people in wheelchairs and all kinds of cultures in these books. You've got um, Excited Ernesto. And so it's not just a black and white culture that's going on in some of these books. Here's one of the ones I was telling you about with the Piper series, The Spirit in the Mirror. This one happens to be
oh.
Patience, book number 4, and this is going to take place in Germany. So as you thumb through the book, you will see pictures of the cultures and some of the fun things that are going on in some of the neighborhoods, and they have the red lettering in it too. That's a secret coded
Oh,
message.
yeah.
And then I write some things like this: I'm a veggie hero. So this one
I
is,
love
yeah,
this.
I
That
thumb
is so
through
cute.
some of the pictures in that, and I drew those
You
pictures.
did.
So these are about different vegetables in there, but it's a treat in the back that will get the attention of the adults. It's a nutritional pack area in the back that gives you nutritional value
Oh,
of
information on the
every
books.
vegetable that's in the
Yeah.
front.
So you can
She's
see
got
the
it on an
vegetables.
interesting page because I used to think that iceberg lettuce had no nutritional value. I was wrong. Leave it open
I
for a minute.
still think that.
Yeah, so it doesn't have much value, but it does have some. So I actually let you see the value of the iceberg lettuce and the romaine lettuce. So you can have them both on the same page. But I used to think iceberg lettuce had no value.
Wow. I
Yeah,
used
so
to think my
yeah,
mom would be like, "Did you
don't
have you eat your salad?" And I'm like, "The salad doesn't do
get.
anything."
So that's one of those. And then I also have put the A through Z books in coloring books.
Oh,
So you will have some of the
wow.
same pictures that are in this one is Q through U. So you have about 5 to 7
Wow. So you can
different
color.
little stories. The same pictures, except they're not in color in the coloring books. You have to color it
Ah.
yourself. So that's just one of
So
them,
you can
but you'll
color through
find an
them.
option. It's a little
That's
bit of the story,
cool.
not the whole story on that.
That's cool.
And then you have one, The Not
What's this
So
one?
Invisible Me. Now, this is not an A through Z. This is a book I wrote later from a conference I went to, and I had a parent that asked me a question. This is a book about bullying. This little
Hmm.
girl was actually, she wore dreadlocks, and the school teased her. So I actually wrote a story about and dedicated it to this individual about bullying. So that's what that's about. And um, let me see. This is the one I was telling you about, the novel. The first novel, there's purpose in the journey and the destination. The only one in my 100 books that is now on audio is that one. Um,
And this one's more like a regular book that you.
that's a regular book. I do have a on the in the 5 and in this one, I do have a secret coded message in there, but it's harder to find than in the children's book. This is a young adult. And so, but on the audio, they had to skip those letters. So, but in the paperback, you can actually read the secret coded message that are in the kind of like a trademark for me. That's you can find this on Amazon, Apple, iTunes stores, and Audible. You can get those there now. And now, in some situations, you can get Audible downloaded for 99 cents a month and for the first 3 months and things like that. So you might want to grab some of those specials if you don't already have Audible. So I didn't have Audible before I did this Audible book. Now I do.
That's amazing. And Linda, thank you so much for coming in here.
Thank you all for listening to
Of course. And for sharing all that information with us. You made my job easy today. I didn't even have to do nothing. I just sat here, listened to the story, enjoyed every bit of it, got to see your books. I'm really excited. I hope you can make it to the 16th. I didn't know you were coming in here. Had I known you were coming in, and what you did prior to today, I would have had you come for December 16th.
Oh, my.
It's a special Spark conversation. We're doing local authors.
Oh, my gracious.
But if you still want to come, I can set up a table for you, like a booth that I'm doing for everybody. You can put your books there and sell them at the event if you want to.
On the 16th, I'd love to come back.
Perfect.
I would love to come back so we can get all that set up.
Yeah. So if
Thank
you're
you
listening
so much.
on the 16th, you can come and you can actually see Linda and her
other
books and everyone else and other local authors that are going to be sharing their expertise and their experience. Linda's actually your very special case in that you're probably going to be the only one that has fictional writings there. Everyone else is nonfiction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yours will be very different from everybody else's, and that'll be a great experience. Everyone, please make sure to check out Linda's books. They all seem amazing. I'm excited to try and read some of them. I have a new reading list before 2025. Everyone, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Comment down below. It really helps the algorithm out. Our YouTube channel is BBB Central VA. And if you are listening on Spotify, BBB Sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.